So we turned off the water under the manhole. We opened the plug under the hose next to the boathouse. Next step is to drain the hot water heater, and before we drain it, we just double check that the hot water heater's off. It is a mistake to have the hot water heater empty if the electric is on the hot water heater. And if you look here, you can see that the water heater is this one, and it is off. We had turned it off already, so it's pushed this way. So we know that the water is not hot. The elements inside the hot water heater are not glowing or heating. And I'll now show you how we turn off how we drain the hot water heater. Uncle Harry set it up years ago where there is a valve which you'd handle with your hands. Sometimes if it's a little tight, you use this tool, which is the right size, and you just open it up, and it's actually tied to a piece of hose that goes right through the floor, and it just drains underneath the cottage. So I'm going to loosen that, and that's my very next thing to do. In order to make sure the hot water heater drains, we want to make sure that air can get into the tank so that it drains properly. And to do that, we just open the hot water tap. That way it works out that there's actually air now going through the tap into the tank, and that allows the tank to drain properly. Okay?
Okay.
So the next thing we do is we open this drain. This drains up pipes from upstairs, and I open this up, and you can see I'm just using any receptacle which will hold some water. And so we'll drain this, and we'll leave this open. So all winter that drain will just be open, and even as we open the taps upstairs, more draining will occur right here. So I'll leave the receptacle right underneath here while we go upstairs. So the water's turned off, but there's still water in the toilet. So the very first thing we do is flush the toilet, and that puts as much water out into the sewer system as possible before we scoop the water out of the toilet, which will be my next task. So now that we've done our final flush of the year, you don't have to watch, but I'm actually going to use this cup, and I'm going to scoop as much out of the tank and as much out of the bowl as I can. I can put it right here because we haven't yet done anything with the sink trap here. So that water will all flow into the sewer system. It's not flowing into pipes that we've already opened, and so I'll just scoop out, and then we'll come back for more. A few instructions in this bathroom. Like the rest, we always leave these taps open. That helps to prevent airlocks. Underneath this sink there are two valves, and you open both of them, and that will result in some water draining from where I'm pointing, and I put a cup under there to catch that water. You can put that water that you catch into the sink because this sink isn't draining to that place. So you can put a cup under there. There's two valves to open, which are easy to see. You collect water in a cup, you pour that water right there, and then I have emptied out the toilet, and I put some antifreeze in the bowl. I put some antifreeze in the rear. I've put some antifreeze right here, and that helps prevent this sink trap breaking. And then I have also left these taps open in the shower so that we prevent airlocks there. I have put antifreeze into this drain because there's a sink trap under there as well. The trickiest part of our job is always behind the shower. So behind the shower there are two valves. I have opened them both. One of them does drain the pipe that goes from, up to the shower and now back down. And there's no place to put a cup in there to catch it. So you can see I roll up the towel and I've put the towel there, and that towel has caught those that amount of water. It's only about a cup of water, but I usually just leave that towel there till I come back next weekend and then pick it up. So that avoids too much damage perhaps on the wood. There's another valve which is next to the towel. The one you're looking at right here does not change. You do not have to close that one. The two valves I'm speaking of are both under there, and you have to put your hand in and find them and open them both, and that towel catches the drips. So we leave these taps open also to let air get in. There is a drain plug here, which I'm shining the light on. So that little itty bitty drain plug I'm going to open. That's going to drain that copper pipe, and that's the next thing to do here. There's a similar one underneath the dishwasher, and we'll get to that in a minute. So when you're ready.
Go.
Yes? So one detail is draining the pipe that feeds the dishwasher. So where I'm shining the light, there's a valve that we're going to open, and this where my finger's touching is a tiny little valve that basically drains the pipe so that the pipe doesn't freeze. It's a tiny, tiny little piece here. It's kind of awkward getting in there. You can see the washcloth, which has been used year after year. I just put that under there to catch the water because there's obviously no way to get any receptacle in there. So I'm going to go in with the wrench, and I'm going to squeeze that tiny little thing and turn it counterclockwise, and it'll come off. And we always save that tiny little piece. So I put it in a dish on the counter, and it's an important piece to have when we come back in the spring.